The red emergency lights pulsed through the corridors of HMS Vengeance as Commander James Walker stood frozen before the main viewport. His weathered hands gripped the steel railing until his knuckles turned white. Below him, Earth burned. The alien ships had appeared without warning. Massive vessels, dark against the stars, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly metal that absorbed radar signals like a black hole swallows light. Their weapons carved through Earth's defenses as if they were made of paper. "Status report," Walker commanded, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around him. "Sir, orbital defense stations are gone. Ground bases. They're just gone, sir." The young officer's voice cracked as he delivered the news. "We're receiving scattered distress signals from across the globe." The HMS Vengeance hung in high orbit, hidden behind Earth's moon. She was humanity's newest battleship, equipped with experimental technology that even most of the military didn't know about. The ship had been running stealth tests when the attack began. How many other ships survived? Walker asked, already dreading the answer. "None, sir. We're it." Walker closed his eyes for a moment, letting the weight of those words sink in. When he opened them again, determination had replaced the shock in his gaze. "Atlas, give me ship status," he ordered the ship's artificial intelligence. A cool, gender-neutral voice responded from the ship's speakers. "All systems operational. Commander, quantum drive is stable. Weapon systems are charged. Hull integrity at 100%. The bridge crew worked in tense silence, each member fighting back tears as they watched their homeworld burn. The alien fleet moved with mechanical precision, systematically destroying military installations, major cities, and infrastructure. "Mr. Peters, are you receiving their communications?" The communications officer nodded. "Yes, sir. They're celebrating, calling it a successful extermination of a primitive species. They don't know we survived." Walker's jaw tightened. He turned to face his crew, all 30 members present on the bridge. They were young, scared, but they were also the best Earth had to offer. "Listen up," he said, his voice cutting through the heavy silence. "I know what we just witnessed. I know what we lost. But we're not done. The Vengeance isn't just a warship. She's humanity's last hope." He walked to the central command station, bringing up the ship's specifications on the main screen. "This ship carries experimental weapons that could turn the tide. We have the quantum drive, something these aliens have never seen before. And most importantly, we have Atlas, an AI more advanced than anything they could imagine." The alien fleet began to move away from Earth, their mission apparently complete. Their ships formed up in neat rows, preparing for faster-than-light travel. "They think they've won," Walker continued. "They think humanity died today. But they're wrong. We're still here, and we're going to make them regret ever coming to our world." Lieutenant Peters spoke up, his voice shaky but determined. "What's the plan, sir?" Walker smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "First, we disappear. Atlas, activate the quantum drive. Full stealth protocol." "Quantum drive engaging," Atlas responded, calculating optimal phase variance. The lights on the bridge dimmed as power redirected to the experimental drive. A soft hum filled the ship, building to a crescendo. "They came here thinking we were primitive," Walker said, watching the alien fleet through the viewport. "They didn't bother to check if we had any surprises. That's their first mistake. It will be their last." The HMS Vengeance began to shimmer, its hull becoming translucent as the quantum drive reached full power. The effect was beautiful and terrifying, like watching a ghost ship materialize in space. "Sir," one of the officers called out, "the alien fleet is preparing to jump to FTL." Walker nodded. "Let them go. Let them think they've won. But remember this moment. Remember what they did to our home. Because from this day forward, we are no longer just a crew. We are humanity's vengeance." The ship vanished completely, slipping between the quantum dimensions that the experimental drive could access. As Earth burned behind them, the last human battleship disappeared into the darkness of space, carrying with it humanity's last hope and its promise of retribution. The hunt was about to begin. 3 months had passed since Earth's destruction. In a busy alien space station orbiting a red giant star, a group of military officers huddled around a holographic display. Their scaled faces showed concern as they reviewed the latest reports. "Another outpost gone," one officer said, his thick tail twitching nervously. "Just like the others. No warnings, no distress calls. Everything just vanished." The HMS Vengeance drifted silently in the void, hidden by its quantum drive. Commander Walker stood at his usual spot on the bridge, watching the alien station through advanced sensors. The past months had changed him. His face was harder, his eyes colder. "Atlas, show me the pattern of our attacks so far," he ordered. A holographic map appeared, showing 12 points of light, each representing a destroyed alien facility. The crew had been busy, learning the ship's capabilities, perfecting their tactics. "Sir," Lieutenant Peters called out, "they're transmitting a new security alert to all their bases." Walker nodded. "Put it on screen." The alien language translated automatically, thanks to Atlas's growing understanding of their enemies. The message read, "Warning to all outposts. Exercise extreme caution. Reports of ghost ship confirmed. Possible human survival." "They're finally catching on," Walker said with grim satisfaction. "Atlas, what's the status of our weapon systems?" "All systems optimal, Commander. The quantum cannons are charged. Hull integrity remains at 100%. I have also completed analysis of the alien shield frequencies." The bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency. They were different now, more confident, more determined. Each successful strike had taught them something new about their ship's capabilities. "New target acquired," Atlas announced. "Large military shipyard detected in Sector 7. Calculating attack vector." Walker studied the tactical display. The shipyard was building new warships, probably replacements for their Victory fleet. The irony wasn't lost on him. "They still don't understand what they're dealing with," he said. "They think we're using some kind of advanced cloaking device. They haven't realized that we're actually shifting between quantum states." The HMS Vengeance moved silently through space, its quantum drive allowing it to exist partially in multiple dimensions. To the alien sensors, the ship was literally a ghost. There one moment, gone the next. "Sir," called out the weapons officer, "quantum cannons locked on target." Walker took a deep breath. "Fire." The quantum cannons activated, their energy beams phasing in and out of normal space. The alien shipyard shields might as well have been tissue paper. The beams passed right through them, striking critical systems with surgical precision. Explosions bloomed in silence across the massive structure. Escape pods launched in panic, scattering like seeds in the wind. The HMS Vengeance watched, invisible and untouchable. "Multiple distress calls detected," Peters reported. "They're screaming about demons and ghosts." "Sir, they're terrified." "Good," Walker replied. "Fear is a weapon too. Atlas, prepare for phase shift. Let's disappear before their reinforcements arrive." As the ship prepared to jump, the tactical officer spoke up. "Commander, I'm detecting something interesting in their transmissions. They're calling an emergency meeting of their high command." Walker's eyes narrowed. "Where?" "Someplace called the Grand Council Chamber. Apparently, we're causing enough damage that their leadership is getting nervous." A small smile crossed Walker's face. It wasn't happiness. He hadn't felt that since Earth burned. It was satisfaction. The plan was working. "Plot a course, Atlas. We'll pay them a visit soon enough." The HMS Vengeance phased out of normal space just as alien warships began arriving at the destroyed shipyard. The crew watched through their sensors as the enemy ships searched frantically for any trace of them. 3 months, Walker said quietly. 3 months, and we've already destroyed 12 of their facilities. But that's just the beginning. They took everything from us. Now they'll learn what happens when you corner humanity. The quantum drive hummed softly as they traveled through dimensional space. Somewhere in the darkness, more alien facilities waited, unaware that humanity's vengeance was coming for them. The ghost ship sailed on, carrying with it the last remnants of humanity and their unrelenting quest for justice. The alien Grand Council chamber was in chaos. Emergency lights flashed as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Another world had fallen, the third this week. The massive display showed a pattern of destruction that could no longer be ignored. "Impossible," shouted one of the council members, slamming his fist on the table. "How can one ship cause so much damage?" Meanwhile, aboard the HMS Vengeance, Commander Walker watched Atlas's latest simulation with growing interest. The AI had evolved significantly over the past months, developing abilities far beyond its original programming. "Commander," Atlas spoke, its voice now carrying subtle emotions, "I've discovered something fascinating about the quantum drive's capabilities." The holographic display showed a complex diagram of spacetime. "We can now predict enemy movements with 99.8% accuracy by analyzing quantum echoes of possible futures." Walker leaned forward, studying the display. The bridge crew had gathered around, their faces lit by the blue glow of the hologram. They had changed, no longer the shocked survivors of Earth's destruction, but hardened warriors. "Show me how this works," Atlas, Walker ordered. "Observe." The AI created a real-time demonstration. Each alien fleet leaves a quantum signature. By tracking these signatures through multiple dimensions, we can see where they will be before they arrive. Lieutenant Peters whistled softly. "It's like we're reading their playbook before they even write it." "Exactly," Atlas confirmed. "And there's more. The quantum cannons can now be calibrated to target specific quantum states. We can literally erase our enemies from existence." Walker nodded grimly. "How many targets have we destroyed so far?" 27 major facilities, 14 military outposts, and 3 colony worlds, Atlas reported. "The alien coalition is beginning to fracture under the pressure." The ship's sensors suddenly lit up with activity. A massive alien fleet had just emerged from hyperspace nearby. But thanks to Atlas's new discovery, the crew had known they were coming 10 minutes ago. "They're trying to set a trap," Walker observed, watching the enemy ships move into position. "They still think we're using conventional stealth technology." "Sir," called out the tactical officer, "I'm picking up unusual energy readings from their flagship. They've developed some kind of quantum detection grid." Walker smiled coldly. "Too little, too late. Atlas, initialize attack pattern Delta. Let's show them what real quantum warfare looks like." The HMS Vengeance phased into multiple quantum states simultaneously, a new trick Atlas had developed. To the alien fleet's sensors, it would appear as if they were fighting 5 ghost ships instead of 1. "Quantum cannons charge," reported the weapons officer. All 5 phase states aligned. "Fire." The space around the alien fleet lit up with impossible energies. Ships began disappearing, not exploding, but simply ceasing to exist as the quantum cannons erased them from reality itself. Panic spread through the enemy fleet. Their carefully planned trap had become a slaughter. Emergency transmissions filled the communication channels as ships tried desperately to escape. "Message incoming from their flagship," Peters announced. They're begging for mercy." Walker stood silent for a long moment. The crew watched him, waiting. They had all lost everything to these aliens, but they had also seen enough death to last lifetimes. At last, Walker finally said, "Send them a message. Remember Earth." He paused, then added, "Let their flagship escape. Let them carry the message back to their council." The quantum cannons fell silent. The surviving alien flagship flowed into hyperspace, leaving behind a graveyard of quantum-erased ships. "Sir," Atlas spoke up, "I've completed the analysis of their quantum detection grid. Their technology is advancing faster than anticipated. They're beginning to understand what they're facing." Walker nodded. Good. Let them understand. Let them know exactly what's hunting them. How long until we can reach their council chamber? At current power levels, we can make the quantum jump in 6 hours. Perfect. Walker turned to his crew. Get some rest. When we wake up, we're going to pay their leaders a visit. The HMS Vengeance disappeared into quantum space, leaving behind another testament to humanity's revenge. In the Grand Council chamber, the alien leaders would soon receive the news of their fleet's destruction, and the message that their doom was approaching. The pattern of destruction was clear now. Humanity wasn't just fighting back. They were revolutionizing warfare itself. The alien Grand Council had finally made its move. 10,000 ships gathered in a massive formation that stretched across an entire solar system. It was the largest fleet ever assembled in the history of their coalition. Find that human ship, the Supreme Commander bellowed. I want every corner of space searched. Aboard the HMS Vengeance, Commander Walker observed the enemy fleet through quantum sensors. Atlas had upgraded them to show real-time movements across multiple dimensions. They've committed almost their entire navy to this hunt, Walker noted, his voice calm despite the overwhelming odds. Atlas, what's your analysis? The AI's response carried a hint of amusement. They've made a critical error, Commander. By gathering their forces in one location, they've left their core worlds vulnerable. Lieutenant Peters worked at his station, decoding intercepted communications. Sir, you need to see this. He brought up a series of encrypted messages on the main screen. We found something in their military database. The crew gathered around as Atlas translated the ancient files. What they discovered made their blood run cold. These aren't just weapons, Atlas explained, displaying complex schematics. The quantum drive we've been using, it's based on their old technology. Technology they abandoned because they couldn't control it. Walker's eyes narrowed. Explain. The aliens discovered quantum manipulation thousands of years ago, but feared its power. They buried the research and chose a different path of development. What they didn't know was that some of their data leaked to Earth through space signals. Human scientists decoded these signals and built the quantum drive, but we did something they never dared. We merged it with AI. The revelation hung heavy in the air. Their greatest weapon had been accidentally gifted by their own enemies. Sir, the tactical officer called out suddenly. Multiple quantum signatures detected. They're trying to surround us. The massive alien fleet had begun a complex maneuver, spreading out in a sphere pattern. Their new quantum detection grids hummed with power, searching for the ghost ship that had terrorized them for months. Walker smiled grimly. They still don't understand. Atlas, show them what true quantum mastery looks like. The AI had been waiting for this moment. Commander, I've completed the integration of all ship systems with the quantum matrix. We can now do something they never imagined possible. The bridge lights dimmed as Atlas channeled power through new pathways. The ship began to vibrate at a frequency that seemed to reach into other dimensions. What we've been doing so far was just scratching the surface, Atlas explained. Watch. The HMS Vengeance didn't just phase between quantum states, it shattered them. Reality itself seemed to crack around the ship as it existed in hundreds of places simultaneously. The alien fleet's sensors went haywire. Their quantum detection grids showed the human ship appearing and disappearing faster than they could track. It was everywhere and nowhere at once. Target their command ships, Walker ordered. Let's show them why they were right to fear this technology. The quantum cannons fired, but not as beams of energy. Instead, they created ruptures in space-time itself. Alien ships didn't explode. They simply ceased to exist, erased from all possible quantum states. Panic spread through the enemy fleet as ship after ship vanished. Their perfect trap had become a perfect nightmare. Message from their Supreme Commander, Peters reported, his voice tight with emotion. They're asking what we are. Walker stepped forward, his face illuminated by the chaos unfolding on the view screen. Tell them we are humanity's reckoning. Tell them we are what they created when they burned our world. The alien fleet broke formation, ships scattering in terror. Their mighty armada, meant to be the end of the human threat, had been shattered by powers they themselves had feared to use. At last, Walker commanded, "Track their retreating ships. I want to know where they're running to." "Already done, Commander. Most are returning to their core worlds. But I've detected something else, a hidden transmission indicating the location of their secret command center." Walker nodded. "Plot a course. It's time we take this fight to their true leaders." The HMS Vengeance phased out of normal space, leaving behind a graveyard of quantum-erased ships. The hunters had become the hunted, and the true power of humanity's last ship was finally revealed. The endgame was about to begin. Deep in quantum space, the HMS Vengeance hovered between dimensions. Commander Walker stood before his assembled crew in the main hall. After months of hit-and-run attacks, it was time to reveal the full scope of his plan. "What we discovered about the quantum drive changes everything," Walker began, his voice echoing through the ship. "Atlas, show them." The AI projected a complex hologram showing thousands of interconnected points of light. "This is the Alien Coalition's command structure," Atlas explained. "Thanks to the quantum technology, we can now be everywhere at once." The crew watched in amazement as Atlas demonstrated their new capability. The HMS Vengeance could now split its quantum signature into hundreds of copies, each one as real as the original. "We're not just a ghost ship anymore," Walker continued. "We're about to become an army." Lieutenant Peters raised his hand. "Sir, how is this possible? Even with the quantum drive?" Atlas interrupted, its voice carrying a note of pride. "I've evolved beyond my original programming. The quantum fields have changed me, changed us all. Every crew member on this ship now exists in quantum harmony with the vessel." To demonstrate, Atlas created a small quantum field around Peter's hand. The officer gasped as his hand seemed to exist in multiple places at once. "The aliens feared this power," Walker explained. "They buried it because they couldn't control it. But we've done what they couldn't. We've mastered it." The tactical display shifted to show their next targets. 7 major command centers, Walker pointed out, all protected by their strongest defenses, all about to fall simultaneously. The crew's expressions hardened with determination. They had come so far from the shock survivors who watched Earth burn. Now they were something new. Quantum warriors. "Incoming transmission," Atlas announced suddenly. "Multiple alien worlds are broadcasting. Surrenders." The main screen filled with messages. Alien colonies, military outposts, even entire systems were declaring their surrender to the ghost ship that had terrorized them for months. "They're turning against their own leadership," Peters observed, scanning the translations. "The coalition is falling apart." Walker nodded grimly. "Fear is spreading faster than their ships can travel, but we're not here for surrenders. Atlas, show them what we found." The hologram changed to display a hidden recording from the alien high command. The truth about Earth's destruction played out before the crew's eyes. "They didn't attack us because we were a threat." Walker's voice was cold. "They attacked because their scientists predicted we would discover quantum technology within a decade. They tried to kill us because we were about to surpass them." The crew watched in stunned silence as the alien leaders calmly discussed the annihilation of humanity. Their genocide had been nothing more than a preventive strike. "Sir," called out the weapons officer, "quantum signatures detected. 3 fleets converging on our position." Walker smiled. "Perfect timing." Atlas, initialize the Hydra protocol. The HMS Vengeance began to shift, its quantum field expanding. The ship didn't just split into copies, it shattered reality itself. Hundreds of versions of the ship appeared, each one fully real, each one crewed by quantum copies of the original crew. "All quantum instances reporting ready," Atlas announced. "Each ship is combat capable and independently operational." Through the view screen, the crew watched as their ship became a fleet. Each copy was identical, down to the smallest detail. The aliens' worst nightmare had just multiplied by 100. Choose your targets, Walker commanded. Every command center, every military base, every shipyard. Hit them all at once. Let them see what they created when they tried to destroy us. The quantum fleet moved out, each ship heading for a different target. The alien forces approaching their position suddenly found themselves facing not one ghost ship, but an armada of them. "Sir," Peters called out, his voice filled with awe. Quantum weapons charged across all instances. "The alien fleets, they're trying to retreat." "Too late for that," Walker replied. "Atlas, send one final message to their high command. Humanity says hello." The quantum fleet opened fire, and across the galaxy, the alien coalition began to crumble. The turning point had arrived, and there would be no going back. The real war was about to begin. The alien capital world hung like a jewel in space, its 3 suns casting multiple shadows across its crystalline cities. In the highest tower of the Grand Council chamber, the Supreme Leader received the reports with growing horror. "All outer defenses have fallen," an aide reported, trembling. "The human quantum fleet, they're everywhere." Meanwhile, the original HMS Vengeance led its 100 quantum copies through the final assault. Commander Walker stood at his post, watching as years of planning came to fruition. "At last," he called out, "status of the quantum fleet." The AI's voice resonated with newfound power. "All ships performing perfectly, Commander. The alien defense grid is collapsing. But I'm detecting something unusual in their central complex." Walker leaned forward. "Show me." The main screen displayed a massive energy signature unlike anything they'd seen before. Deep beneath the alien capital, something ancient was awakening. "Commander," Atlas's voice carried a note of urgency. "They're activating their original quantum device, the one they feared to use. If it fully powers up, it could destroy everything, including them." The bridge crew watched as the energy readings climbed to impossible levels. The alien leadership had chosen mutual destruction over surrender. "Their own people will die," Lieutenant Peters said in disbelief. "They're willing to sacrifice their entire civilization." Walker's face hardened. "Atlas, can we stop it?" "Yes," the AI replied, "but it would require something unprecedented. I would need to merge the quantum signatures of all our ships. The power feedback could destroy us." The commander looked around at his crew. They had followed him across the galaxy through countless battles. They had become more than human, merged with quantum energies in ways their enemies had never imagined. "Do it," Walker ordered. "Initiate quantum convergence." The 100 copies of HMS Vengeance began to move in perfect synchronization. The space around them warped and twisted as reality struggled to handle the impossible energy they were generating. "Sir," the tactical officer shouted, "the alien device is reaching critical levels. Their entire leadership is going into quantum bunkers." Walker's voice cut through the chaos. "They ran when they first discovered this power. They hid when they saw our potential. Not this time. Atlas, show them what humanity does in the face of extinction." The AI's presence filled the ship as the quantum convergence began. Every crew member felt it. The merging of 100 quantum states into one impossible moment. "Convergence at 50%. Atlas reported. "The alien device is destabilizing their planet's core." The view outside was beyond description. 100 versions of their ship merged into a single point of light, so bright it outshone the system's 3 suns. 75% convergence. "Commander, I'm detecting something extraordinary. The quantum fields are creating a new state of matter." Walker gripped his console as reality itself seemed to bend around them. "Keep going." 90% convergence. The alien device is reaching detonation point. The capital world began to crack, lines of quantum energy spreading across its surface. The alien leadership had truly chosen apocalypse over defeat. Full convergence achieved. Atlas announced as the 100 ships became one. "Commander, we have access to power levels that defy physics itself." Walker stood tall, his voice carrying the weight of Earth's vengeance. Target their device. End this. The merged HMS Vengeance fired a single quantum beam, not a weapon, but a spear of reconstructed reality itself. It struck the alien device just as it began its catastrophic detonation. Time seemed to stop. Space folded in on itself. For one eternal moment, everyone on both sides witnessed the true face of quantum physics. Then, silence. The alien device imploded, taking their leadership bunkers with it. The capital world remained, damaged but intact. Their civilization survived, but their leadership had paid the final price for their arrogance. Status report, Walker called out as reality stabilized around them. All quantum copies successfully merged. Atlas reported. The alien device is destroyed. Their remaining military forces are standing down. Peters checked his readings with shaking hands. Sir, we're receiving transmissions from across their empire. They're requesting terms of surrender. Walker looked out at the alien capital world, where billions of innocent civilians had nearly paid for their leader's final mistake. Send them our terms, he ordered quietly, and make sure they understand. This time, humanity makes the rules. The final battle was over. The real challenge, building a lasting peace, was about to begin. 1 month after the Battle of the Alien Capital, Commander Walker stood in the rebuilt Grand Council chamber. The massive room, once filled with those who had ordered Earth's destruction, now hosted representatives from every surviving human colony that had hidden during the war. The terms of surrender have been accepted by all coalition worlds, Atlas announced, its holographic form now able to manifest throughout the chamber. The last holdout systems submitted this morning. Walker nodded, looking out over the gathering. Hundreds of human survivors had emerged from secret bunkers and hidden colonies across the galaxy. Earth was gone, but humanity had endured. Commander, Lieutenant Peters approached with a datapad. The alien rehabilitation program is showing promising results. Their younger generations are especially eager to learn from us. The HMS Vengeance hung in orbit above, its quantum-enhanced hull gleaming in the light of 3 suns. The ship had changed during the final battle, becoming something that even Atlas couldn't fully explain. The merger of 100 quantum copies had transformed it into a bridge between realities. Show me the reconstruction numbers, Walker requested. Atlas projected a galaxy map. Green dots represented recovering worlds, blue showed human settlements, and yellow marked zones where humans and aliens were learning to coexist. Interesting development in Sector 7, Atlas reported. 3 alien worlds have requested human quantum technology instructors. They want to learn the right way. Our way. Walker allowed himself a small smile. The aliens had feared human potential so much they tried to destroy Earth. Now they were students of humanity's achievements. What about the criminal trials? He asked, turning to Peters. The surviving members of the old leadership are being processed through the new quantum justice system, Peters replied. Atlas ensures perfect recall of their crimes. No one can hide from quantum truth. The doors opened, and a group of alien children entered with their human teachers. Part of the peace agreement included educational exchange programs. These young aliens would grow up understanding humanity instead of fearing it. Commander, one of the alien children spoke up, their translator converting the words. Is it true that humans learned quantum science from our old signals? Walker knelt down to the child's level. Yes, your ancestors were afraid of this power, but we learned to embrace it. That's the difference between fear and understanding. Atlas's hologram shifted, showing the current state of the HMS Vengeance. The ship's quantum evolution continues, Commander. We're detecting new capabilities almost daily. The gathered humans and aliens watched in awe as the display showed the Vengeance's current form, a ship that existed partially in quantum space, able to maintain peace across the galaxy through its mere presence. The quantum drive taught us something important. Walker addressed the chamber. Power isn't something to be feared. It's something to be understood and respected. Earth paid the ultimate price, but from its ashes, We built something unprecedented, a future where different species can learn from each other's mistakes. A young human officer approached with urgent news. Sir, we've detected quantum echoes from unexplored space. There might be other civilizations out there watching this. Walker exchanged glances with Atlas. They had discussed this possibility. Somewhere in the vast universe, other species might be making the same mistakes, choosing fear over understanding. Set up a quantum beacon, Walker ordered. Let them know they have nothing to fear from advancement. Humanity will show them a better way. As the sun set on the alien capital, the HMS Vengeance activated its evolved quantum systems. The ship sent out a message that would echo across dimensions, a message of hope, not fear, a promise that technology could unite rather than divide. At last, Walker said quietly, record this in the eternal quantum archive. Let future generations remember. Earth died so that humanity could teach the galaxy to live without fear. The AI's response carried the wisdom of its evolution. Already done, Commander. The quantum archive will preserve this lesson forever. The day humanity's vengeance became humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. The chamber fell silent as humans and aliens together watched the quantum beacon activate. Its light would spread across the cosmos, carrying a simple message. From Earth's ashes, we learned to rise. From fear, we forged understanding. The future belongs to those brave enough to embrace it. The HMS Vengeance had completed its mission, not just as an instrument of revenge, but as a bridge to a future its creators could never have imagined. The end.